You know what? I forgot to hit the live button. Oh, man. Yeah, I forgot to hit live. I forgot to hit the live button. Damn it. Thank you, OBG70. I've been sitting here doing a thing for like 20 minutes. Jeez. Clint Miller's here. Hello. OBG70 just saved the entire stream. Thank you, OBG70. Thank you. Gosh. So nobody saw the last. What did I do here? Yeah, I did like 15 minutes. OBG70. I've done that before. God. It. JEC. Hi, hi, hi. Clint Miller. Good to see you, Tony. Good to see you, Clint. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So, Arden is here. Hail, Tony D. Hail to you, Arden. All right. Let me recap everything I just said. So I read it. I talked about my weekend and talked about Black Adam being number one. So Black Adam, 18.5 mil, is doing well. 319 million worldwide. Clint Miller loved the Pineys book 10. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. JEC, nope. What? Nope. What? Am I not on? Yeah, and then I'm talking about One Piece now. But before I move on to that, I did a whole speech about James Gunn. Let's get a consensus in the chat. Yes, the James Gunn. I am 5 times 5. 5 by 5. Ardent, sorry I'm late. Hey, my friend Bleach Demon was wondering if you'd be interested in joining the two of us for his midterm stream on Tuesday. Well, on Tuesday I have to do an event, of course, from 5 to 9. That's East Coast Standard Time. So I'm not sure when, if I can get back in time for it. Sure. Can you not hear me now? You can hear me now, right? Tell me you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? JEC. I know you heard nothing before because I screwed up. Let's see. Turn on the sound a minute. If I can get back in. Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, the sound seems to be coming through. Okay. Everything's good now. Sorry, such a boomer. 5 by 5 means perfect. Oh, okay. So, I did want to get to see if what you guys thought of James Gunn taking over the DCU, which dropped this week. I think it's pretty good. I mean, I think James has got a fairly good handle on comics, and couldn't do any worse than the current guys. Chris Miller, 5 by 5 better than 2 by 4 better still than a Canadian Hammer Fiend. I know what that is in reference to. I don't know if I should talk about that. Oh, God. OBG 70. I'm in a wait and see holding pattern on the DC. I don't know. I mean, I think it'll at least be okay. Yeah, the Flash is going to be key. It depends on what they do with the Flash. They could go right back down the tubes on the Flash. I don't want to support that movie because of Ezra Miller. Clint Miller, not here. You're not here. You look like you're here. Yeah, I mean, if they push the Flash hard and then it bombs and there's important stuff in it and nobody sees it, it'll kind of be a problem. You know? It'll be a real problem. And at that point, who knows? Ardent, sorry I'm distracted. Actually driving home at the moment. I will work and chat until I either get home or you end streaming, whichever comes first. Well, be careful driving, bro. Click, 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 click. Yeah, so I don't know. If they completely like cut out Ezra Miller, Clint Miller, no, discussion of Pelosi's injury here another time. Yeah, I mean, the big news on that front was the NBC report. If you haven't seen that, I'm sure it's all over the internet now because they pulled it. NBC pulled it, but it's pretty bizarre, you know, that a guy, according to the story that I heard, you know, Pelosi wakes up and there's a guy standing at the foot of his bed with a hammer and in his underwear, I assume, and then he somehow gets to call the police, manages to call them, they get there, and he opens the door for them, and the guy with the hammer's inside. Like, if I had been in that situation and I was scared of the guy with the hammer, I would have been like, he's in there, and then I would have ran past the cops. Because, you know, the cops were going to meet it. It's not like a situation where the cops say, well, we don't know what's going on. We don't know who Paul Pelosi is. The cops showed up to help Paul Pelosi and, like, no one else. Right? They know the whole deal. So that Pelosi didn't immediately, like, stand behind the cops and say, there he is. Get him. It's weird. It's super weird. Super, super weird. And that's probably about all I can say about it, other than my rampant speculation that you can see on my alt tech channels. But I'm sure we'll find out all about it after the midterms are over. But Clint Miller, the guy was a nudist. Is underwear nudist formal wear? Perhaps. Maybe there's a little bow tie on his underwear. Maybe sheath, you know, like that underwear they keep advertising on every YouTuber, sheath underwear. That could be formal wear. There's apparently there's 2 compartments in it, one for your junk, which sounds weird to me, to wear sheath underwear, like to put your junk in like a sack inside your underwear, and then pull the underwear over everything. Feels like your junk would be really hot in that situation. But I don't know. I don't have sheath. I thought about ordering some. I could probably use some new underwear, but I don't know. It seems too heavy. I like light underwear. You know, I like the briefs. So I got leg room to run around. But number 2 this week is One Piece. This anime film. Bleach Demon is here. Hey Tony, just got to hop on. As Arden said, if you want to join the midterm stream, you're more than welcome. Yeah, shoot me a link. Like I said, if I get back in time, like I won't be back until sometime after 9, unless the moonlight market is totally lame. So from 5 to 9, I'm doing this thing. Probably take me like an hour to get home. So I probably won't be back home until like 10 at least. So, I may at least hop on if you're still on by that time. I don't know. I'm probably going to miss all the cool live streams. I wanted to see Styx and Hammer, but that sounds cool. I would totally have many things to say. It'll probably all be over by that time, and then it'll be like either woohoo or we're screwed. I don't think we're going to be screwed though. I think it's going to be woohoo all the way. Oh wow, I didn't even see this. The international box office for One Piece is friggin' awesome. 149 million? Wow. And only 9.4 million in the US. Anime is big. That's got to be all Asia, right? It's got to be like all Japan, Korea, maybe China. Maybe India. Not sure how far that. I mean, international box office is probably everything. Bleach Demon, fantastic. I'll pop a link to you in my channel. Thank you. So yeah, I hear good things about One Piece. Not super big in anime, but I do enjoy me some Cowboy Bebop. If you haven't seen that, the cartoon is awesome. Highly recommended. Ticket to Paradise still hanging on at 3. That's doing very well internationally, as you can see. They're up to 140 mil. That probably made its money back. Now in over 4,000 theaters here. So only did about 46 million in the US, but it seems to be doing steady business. That's also a regular type movie. And then Smile, still doing well, still hanging on, almost 4 million. Probably be 4 million by the end of Sunday. It's already grossed almost 100 million here. Probably be 100 million by Wednesday, and internationally did 100 million too. So that's definitely money in the bank. That probably didn't cost a lot. Pray for the Devil is number 5 from Lionsgate. So Lionsgate finally got something that did something, but I don't know. It only did 15 million internationally. I think that movie probably cost more than that, but I don't think there's any big names in it, so maybe not. Lyle Crocodile, I mean 63 million. I don't know. I don't think that movie could have with CGI. I don't know. The Banshees of Inisherin, which I wish was doing better, looks fantastic. Looks like word's getting around. Did 2 million this weekend. So 10 million worldwide. Probably didn't cost a tremendous amount to shoot it, but I don't know. I guess if the leads took a pay cut, did it for near scale, you could conceivably shoot that movie for very little money. The Fierce Apathetic Black Queen. Hello, welcome. You. Till at number 8, 1.8 mil. I didn't expect this movie to. Well, now it's in 2,000 theaters. At first, they didn't put it in many theaters. Yeah, it's only doing 6.5 million. It looks like they spent a ton of money on it. I don't think that's money. No. Halloween Ends at 9. Still hanging on there. Black Queen says Disney Strange World is cringe. Yeah, that looked pretty cringe. They do something stupid in a new episode or what? I mean, like, after I heard what they did, the whole Trump tie-in was like, ugh. You know, they used to avoid that kind of stuff back in the day. You know, it would never be that direct. It's so ham-fisted to be that direct, actually name people from the time, because it's one thing if you name somebody like, I don't know, Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson's already 100 years in the past for us. So if you name Woodrow Wilson in a show like that takes place in the future for some reason, that's fine. That's history. It's history for everybody. But when you name someone like Trump, that's like clearly a partisan thing. Like, it's not over with Trump. We don't know what Trump is going to look like 100 years from now. They may look back on Trump as a lot of people do, as a great savior of the United States who changed things. Or they may look at him as, you know, it kind of depends on, you know, the winner's right history, but we'll see. Black Queen. Smile movie is good horror movie. I watched it with my mother at early Halloween. It seems like an odd movie to watch with your mom, but okay. I don't know. My mom doesn't like horror movies. She's never liked them. That movie's a little too much for me, because the scene where the girl like cuts her own throat, which even in the trailer is like, oh, I don't want to see that. Ugh, too much. I like something a little less gross than that, but I mean, I can appreciate it for what it is. It seems to be well made. It's not a bad premise, like a smiling demon or whatever it is. So I mean, it seems they're definitely going to do a sequel to that. I would bank money on it. As opposed to Halloween Ends, which everybody seemed to have hated. Yeah, you know, it's just impossible to have a good payoff with taking off the mask of Michael Myers. It's just impossible. They never set up anything that would have been a shocker, you know? The only other character in the movie, really, from the original is Jamie Lee Curtis, and it couldn't be her. I mean, Donald Pleasance is dead, so who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? I mean, Jason? You could have shocked everybody with that. Oh my God, it's Jason. He's also Michael Myers. So, the only thing you could have done, I mean, I guess they probably did this, is set somebody up in the first of the most recent movies. But even that's kind of lame, you know? Michael Myers should have been done with the first movie. It should have been over. I get why they did a sequel. It was popular. And Carpenter was involved with the sequels. At least the first two. So it wasn't like they were awful, but already it was starting to lose its sheen. The first one's tight. It's a tight movie. Would have been better to go in a different direction. What would have been perfect is you would have done Halloween and then gone to the third movie, right? Completely different, you know? And then each movie would have been established as some sort of horror movie on Halloween. And it would be a Halloween world where Michael Myers was the first guy, and then it's the Druids, and then it would be something else. That to me would have been a perfect situation. So it would have been almost like Tales from the Crypt, but a whole movie, each movie. And then you could have brought all the characters back, you know? But kind of nobody remembers the third Halloween movie with the Druids, although it was kind of awesome. It just, you know, everybody was expecting Michael Myers again. But Jonathan Crow, hey, welcome. I would have, you know, tied it into Michael Myers. You know, it could have been the Druids. Keep bringing him back to life for some reason. He's their avatar or whatever. Black Queen, Disney just made 3D animated movies where 2D animations? Disney just made 3D animated movies where 2D animate. I'm not sure what you're saying. I know that the Russo brothers are supposed to do a live action Hercules, and then it's somehow going to be tied into TikTok. That sounds awful. And I like the Russo brothers. Even the Gray Man was fairly decent to watch. The stunts are great. I don't even know why they would do Hercules live action. It seems stupid. Like, they'd be better off doing the Marvel Hercules and introducing him and then tying him into a movie. But I guess the Hercules animation, who did that? DreamWorks? Black Queen, where 2D animation movies Disney. Where a 2D animation movie Disney. You know, I don't know. I think when you look at animation, like I like the Venture Brothers, and they did, in my view, a really good 2D animated series, and was great. And that's about all I need in an animated movie or TV show. What they did on the Venture Brothers, it was fine. You know, I don't need like cool things where you take Homer Simpson and do a 3D thing and truck the camera all the way around him. I just don't need it. Where the 2D animation, Disney. Oh, you're like demanding it. Oh, okay, now I get what you're saying, Black Queen. Yeah, where the 2D animation, Disney? Where? I don't think you're gonna see it. Nah, they spend too much money on anything, and now 2D animation, it's not cheap to do, but it's compared to the 3D animation, I imagine it's cheaper. You know, compared to like Pixar, which I think is 3D. It looks 3D if it isn't. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect. I mean, that's why, you know, you look at the Little Mermaid. The animation's great on that. You know, I don't think I sat through the whole movie, but I sat through enough of it to go, oh, this is pretty good animation. I mean, it looks great to me. I don't understand why Disney keeps turning everything to live action. It just makes no sense to me. If anything, they should be doing their own version of the Cartoon Network on Disney Plus and like cranking out animated TV shows 2D, like you know, Robin Hood and the Merry Men. like taking all the characters from that. I don't know if you remember the animated Robin Hood and the Merry Men. It was all the characters from the Jungle Book, essentially, all the animal characters, and they were Robin Hood and the Merry Men. And it's a fun movie. And Black Queen, they just made a movie with cringe 3D animated. Strange. Oh, I thought you meant the Star Trek show. That's a different thing. Strange Worlds Designs. Yeah, that movie seemed. I mean, it wasn't the worst thing I ever saw, but it wasn't great. Now I know what you mean. I'm sorry, I confused it with the Star Trek show, which I believe is called Strange New Worlds. You're talking about Strange Worlds, that animated movie. Yeah, totally forgettable. It's about as forgettable as Encanto, which is really forgettable. And then today, I was reading they have a show. It's Frozen and Encanto. And I just thought, why even add Encanto if you already got the rights to Frozen? Why would you even bother to license Encanto? Did they just throw that in for free for the two kids who are big fans of Encanto? You know, it's all about the Frozen. Frozen, I know, is a hit. Encanto? Who saw that? Jonathan Crow. They are simply rehashing their old animation so they can profit from another generation. In my honest opinion, that's what that stands for. Ha! I didn't know what IMHO stood for the longest time. I hate when what they are doing. Yeah, it's one thing to do it once. You know, maybe that was kind of interesting the first time they did it. Now it's just boring. Like when they did it with Hermione, and they did live action Beauty of the Beast. Like, okay, you got Hermione, and she's super hot, and she wants to play Belle, and the live action, what was it, Beauty and the Beast TV show was big, so you could kind of see them doing it, but everything else was just dumb. Black Queen, Strange World, the Clades family are ugliest animations. Yeah, I mean, it's just, like, you could overlook that if the story was compelling, I think. I think I'm remembering that more now. That was like the super woke thing where the president comes to their planet and she's like I don't know what she's president of. I'm going to assume like the Federation or the equivalent in that world. And I don't know, the Clades are, I don't know. It didn't look like a cool, fun thing. It looked very PC and boring. And that's a problem with doing anything super PC. You can't, you know, everybody asks me about the Pineys, like, oh, is it for kids? And I always go, I don't know what people are offended by anymore. You just read it. Just read it. If you think your kid can read my book, then we're good. If you read it and go, oh, this totally offends me, well, then don't give it to your kid. Because there are things in the Pineys. I got cursing and violence, right? Now that alone, maybe you got a 5-year-old kid who just learned how to read, probably not appropriate for that young a kid. Probably won't get the jokes anyway. Probably would struggle to read it. But when you got a kid who's 10, 11, 12, that's more of a call. Like, you know, if your kid watches South Park and laughs and kind of gets the jokes, yeah, he's probably totally fine with it. But if your kid is one of these sensitive kids and you're super sensitive, then no. Black Queen. President is Asian. She was voiced by Asian actress Lucy Liu. Oh, really? She didn't look Asian in that I remember, but it was a few weeks since I saw the trailer. I don't know. I didn't understand what she was president of because she shows up on a spaceship by herself. And to me, that's not the president. Like, what kind of president of anything just shows up on a spaceship by herself? She should have, like, a guard. Clint Miller. Milton is a bit promiscuous. Sorry. Yes, Milton is in the Pineys. And people could have a problem with that. Now, that's not particularly X-rated when you hear about his antics, but you might say, well, I don't want my kid to be like Milton. But then again, Milton doesn't want to be like Milton. So, you know, you gotta, if you only surface it, you might say, well, this is inappropriate. Certainly, see, like, I always sell the book, like, the perfect reader for me would be like 13 to like 35. And when I was a kid, I read stuff and my mother hated it all. Like I read Dungeons and Dragons, comic books, and I watched monster movies and all that stuff. So my mother hated that stuff. But that's what mothers do. They don't like that kind of stuff. They're always worried that you're going to somehow... She would say, oh, I don't like you guys talking about stabbing people when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. And we'd be like, Ma, that's the game. We're not really stabbing people. Well, I heard on the news it's satanic. No, Mom, it's not. That's the way mothers are. They're overprotective. So I always tell potential fans, if they're like, well, I don't know. Well, your mother will hate this. And they go, oh. And they buy it. Black Queen. She's president of a fictional land, Avalonia? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The whole movie just looked... It looked like it could have been good. I mean, I like the family angle because that gives you a lot to work with if you got family members. Like if you watch The Loud Family, which I've never seen a whole episode of, but I kind of like it because it's this crazy long family and they're all called the Louds and they're very loud and they all have different personalities. Like the Clades all look blended together for me. But like you want it to be a little edgy, not too edgy, right? I mean, but you want to kind of dance on the line of acceptability. You want to come right up to it and not go over it. And so there's a scene in the Pineys that earlier in the book, one of the characters accuses Hemingway of being kind of racist for something he says. And he gets mad and he's like, I'm not racist. What are you talking about? That's not the way I meant it. Whatever. They get into an argument. But then later, two of the characters have to do something to distract people, and it's kind of a racist thing they do. And so, and then Hemingway's like, who's racist now? And that's the joke. But like, none of the characters are racist. But you could see why somebody who's too sensitive would look at it and go, I don't like that. That's mean or whatever. But people are too friggin' sensitive is what it boils down to. Black Queen, Strange World storyline is confusing and boring due to being distracted by ugly animation. Well, I mean, it doesn't help. You know, it definitely doesn't help. But again, I think if they'd gone back to like the Robin Hood characters at Disney and done a TV series based on those, that'd be fun. You know, just Robin Hood and the Merry Men doing stuff. Robin Nobles and not hurting anybody. I think kids would really enjoy that. And you could do 4 or 5 seasons of that. It would be totally harmless, but it would be fun. Adults would like it, I think, because they would remember the old cartoons. And you could even throw in songs, because that was the main character, the bear. He would sing songs, and that's part of the Disney shtick. So you could have the characters sing songs about whatever. And the animation was fine. But yeah, I mean, I just didn't like Strange Worlds. It just was boring to me. Boring. So, I don't know when that comes out. Probably soonish. Well, wrapping up the box office. Terrifier 2. Another movie. I don't know if anybody saw that, but a lot of people are saying good things about it. It's a little too gross for me. But that's doing $10 million. It even got international distribution. Finally, that's not much in the way of international distribution, but it cracked $10 million. But I bet this movie didn't cost $10 million to make. It looks kind of cheap, but that's fine. Horror movies are supposed to be cheap, and this is a sequel, so I think they're doing well. The Woman King, well, it's still, I mean, it's at 11, still in 1,000 theaters. Armageddon Time, that movie did not look good. OBG70 saw Terrifier 2 and did a live stream about it last Thursday. What did you think, OBG70? Armageddon Time, plus 1,000 theaters. Oh, okay, so now it's had a real opening. Still hasn't cracked 1 million though. Oof. Oofa. Not good. It did not look good. Man, even with the international box office, it hasn't cracked 1 million. Ouch. That movie definitely cost more than 1 million. It's a period piece. It's got Anthony Hopkins in it. OBG 70. It was good for what it was. Needed about 20 minutes shaved off. Okay. So yeah, I think that to me sounds like it's not a $10 million production. Sounds like a 2 to 5 million deal at most. But yeah, Armageddon Time and Anthony Hopkins. I don't know, in the trailer, it doesn't sound like he's doing. I think they're all Jewish and living in Brooklyn. And then who else is in it? Oh God. Is it Anne Hathaway? Is she in that damn movie? I don't remember. Black Queen. Woman King is nothing. Is noting. I think he meant nothing but Hollywood lies, and Hollywoke lies, and false African and Black history. Seems that way. Seems that way, Black Queen. Yeah, I just had zero interest in it when people start calling me a bigot before I even consider seeing the movie. I'm like, and then when I heard it doesn't follow history at all, I was just like, meh, no thank you. I mean, I was kind of a little annoyed that The Reverend with Leonardo DiCaprio didn't follow the history of that. Because then I read the history and I was like, oh, the real history is better in my view. I think the real history, I would love to redo that movie. I know. It's still a good movie, I'll say. Because, Tom Hardy's in it. He's so great. And Leonardo is great. There's just no denying it. Two actors like that, of that caliber, on the screen together. But, oh my God, read the real story about the Reverend guy. I mean, it's just fantastic. And that would make an amazing movie, I think. Black Queen, Dahomey sold my ancestors to the white man. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. They could have made that Woman King movie work. It should have been a tragedy about, maybe you could have said, first off, The Woman King is a terrible, terrible title. So I'm going to keep calling it The Woman King because that's what it is. But I don't know. What would I call it? I would call it like, it should have been like The Last Stand at the Alamo, right? It should have been like, you've got this corrupt king who is selling his own people to the slavers to keep his own kingdom going. And then you have this female warrior who decides, well, we'll fight and fix things. And then they do, but they all get wiped out. And that could be like a whole Alamo thing, right? They gear up, they do it, but everything's against them, and they all tragically die. And it's like they have some nobility in death. Would have been a great movie that way. People love a tragedy when it's done right, but no. It'd be better called Warrior Queen. Yeah, Warrior Queen, that's decent. I like that title. That's probably taken. But Warrior Queen or, Queen of the Dahomey, something like that. Yeah, I like Warrior Queen, though. That's probably been used, but yeah. But, like, if you've ever seen the Alamo movie, I forget who made that movie. Like, everybody dies at the end. It's crazy. And it's an old movie, so it's weird to see everybody die. Who the hell's in that? I want to say John Wayne. Was he in that? I think he was. I don't know. Everybody goes down swinging in that movie. It's great. Queen of War, says JEC. That's a good title. I like that. The Queen's Last Stand. That would work. Custard's Last Stand. I think they did a movie on that. Well, Little Big Man, I think, has a scene with Custard's Last Stand. Because he survives it. Right? Dustin Hoffman, Little Big Man. I think that's what it's called. And classic movie. Something like that. People love that kind of stuff. And then she dies fighting all the way up until the end. Realizing she's gonna die. But she fights it through anyway, and she wanted to stop the slavery, but the king sacrifices her for political reasons, it'd be a powerful statement. Black Queen, the ironically, Woman King was directed by 2 white women and 1 biracial who was half white and black. I don't know if that's ironic at all, because, you know, with all the woke stuff happening in Hollywood, I think a lot of it's being driven by very comfortable women, most of whom I think are white, and they're caught up in virtue signaling. They're caught up in these books that they've read. Oh my God, I'm a terrible person. I have to do something, and I feel so guilty. I mean, this is like, it's like, I guess they called it white guilt or liberal guilt, that has been turned into some kind of weaponized poison that these people willingly take and then prostrate themselves all over the place doing these stupid things. JC, looked it up. John Wayne starred and directed The Alamo. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was in it then. Oh man, it's been so long since I saw that movie. It's a pretty good movie. At least the ending is. Just like everybody's dying. I mean, that's the kind of movie it could have been, you know? Because zombie movies are like that when you get right down to it. A lot of them, you know, Night of the Living Dead, everybody dies in that. Spoilers if you haven't seen Night of the Living Dead, the good one, not the remake. The remake's all right, not as good though. No, the first one hit you like a freight train, the ending of that. Yeah, John Wayne starred and he directed The Alamo. This is a pretty good movie, you know, for an old-timey movie. It's in Technicolor, if I'm remembering correctly. David Bowie goes... the inventor of the Bowie knife, not David Bowie. What's his name? Dave Bowie? Or I guess his name was also David Bowie? The inventor of the Bowie knife. Always confused me. JC, only other name in the cast was Frankie Avalon, LOL. Who the hell did he play? Boy, I don't remember Frankie Avalon. There wasn't any singing in it, but Black Queen, black communities tried to boycott Woman King due to rewriting a history of the Dahomey. I mean, just don't go see it, you know? The worst thing you could do for these people is, JEC, 1960, The Alamo came out. Jim Bowie, thank you. Jim Bowie, Clint Miller says. Yeah, you're right, it is Jim Bowie. Yeah, the you know, as Razorfist has said, apathy is worse than hating the movie. I guess that's the stage we're in now. Like, Hollywood is so devoid of ideas, they would rather have you hate the movie than be apathetic about seeing it. JC, Frankie played Smitty. I have no idea who Smitty was in that movie. Huh. Smitty. I don't remember him from history. Maybe he was the guy that survived. There was one guy, I think, who survived the Alamo. And then, like, got a message out or something like that. One or two. Or maybe Santa Ana captured him and decided to let one go, something like that. But they killed everybody else. And then David Crockett. That's who I confused Jim Bowie with. It's Jim Bowie. David Crockett, I think, died there. No, he got away. Wait a minute. How did he die? Did he go back to the Alamo? I forget. OBG70. If you hate it, you talk about it. If you are apathetic, you don't. What is it they say about advertising? Even bad press is good. Yeah, but they've done it too long, because it also eats away at your credibility. And now they've really screwed the pooch on so much. You know, celebrities don't have any credibility anymore now. It's very... Star power is now... I mean, you look at Ticket to Paradise. Star power is working, but in the foreign market, not here. People aren't rushing to see this for Clooney and Julia Roberts, but they should be, because they're big stars, big names, but it's only done 46 million here. But in the foreign market, their name is carrying some weight. It's doing 93 million. And this is a real sort of just generic movie about family and couples and a wedding, and it's, that's the kind of normal ass movie that should be doing well in the United States, and it's not, because star power means nothing. You could see a million movies like Ticket to Paradise all over the hotel, the hotel movies. All of them are that way. Black Queen. As black women myself, I am not going to watch The Woman King. Yeah, just don't watch it. I mean, they'll get tired of it eventually. John Wayne was Davy Crockett? He was? I guess he was. I don't remember the hat. JEC, the opposite of love is not hate, it's apathy. Yeah. Yep. So, but I would say love's on top, hate is, underneath it, and then apathy is way down here. Or even just being weird, I think, would be better than being hated, Like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Repo Man, which is such a great movie, I think. It's just weird. It's a weird movie. It's funny. It's got crazy punk music in it. And Emilio Estevez in his greatest role by far. If you haven't seen Repo Man, I highly recommend it. It's just the best. Who's the other guy in it? The guy from Aliens. Oh, I can't think of his name. Harry Dean Stanton. Yeah. He's great in it. The guy who's the character actor whose name I always forget, he's great. I think it was directed or at least produced by Mike Nesmith of the Monkees. It's awesome. Awesome movie. Richard Widmark played Jim Bowie. JEC, love Repo Man. Yes. It's the best. That's a movie I'd love to see a sequel. But, I don't know how they would do one now. It's too late, I think. It would be really hard. I would sign on to write the sequel to Repo Man, but it would be really hard to recapture that kind of punk spirit. If anything was punk, it was Repo Man in terms of a movie. Man, that would be... Yeah, it would be tough to do. It would be tough to capture that spirit, but it would be fun. It would be fun to try. But the rest of these movies, Tar, not doing great. JC, Repo Man was directed by the same guy who made Sid and Nancy. So I guess it was produced by Mike Nesmith. What am I doing? I got the IMDb open. I know Mike Nesmith had something to do with Repo Man. Let's see. Yeah, 1984. No, it was directed by Alex Cox. Yeah. Maybe he produced it. All cast and crew. Here we go. No, it doesn't say. I'm almost sure Mike Nesmith had a connection to this damn movie. Oh, wait, down here. Produced by Michael Nesmith. There he is, executive producer. Yeah, Alex Cox directed it. And he's a pretty good director. Let's see what he's doing today. There he is. He is... Got anything coming up? Quantum Cowboys. Mad God, Curse of the Dragon Sword, The Unknown Enemy, a TV series. I don't know, he looks like he's still working. Repo Chick. Uh-oh. Was this a sequel? I mean... An unlikely hero in a chaotic world. Repo Chick. I don't know. Might have to see this movie. This is from 2009. JC, they made a Repo Man sequel. It was garbage. They did? Was it Repo Chick? Alex Cox directed Repo Man. Black Queen, don't forget Dahomey Kingdom helping colonizers to take over Africa and slavery trade as British do stop the slave trade, leading Dahomey Kingdom failed due to end of slavery. Yep. Was it Repo Chick? Was that the sequel? Seems like a long time. And did Alex Cox? He probably didn't direct the sequel then. Of Repo Man. Let's see. Do they have a link to? Let's see. Repo Man 2. I'll type in Repo Man 2. There's a Repo Man TV series. Was that based on it? No. Looks like a reality TV series. Or TV movie. Repo Chick was the sequel? Oh, no. It's hot garbage, eh? Ah, that's a shame. That's a shame. Yeah, maybe some movies are just never meant to be touched. There it is. Repo Man. What else is going on? Let's check the rest of the trades. Mimi Walker, speaking of punk, vocalist and drummer of Low, dies at 55. It's terrible. I always worry if it was due to, well, no, this is due to cancer, so that's terrible. But it wasn't due to a medical procedure, seemingly, although maybe it weakened her immune system. I don't know. Oh, here's something I wanted to talk about. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should exist, is my stance. It's kind of like the Comedy Awards on South Park. Remember that episode with Funny Bot? JEC, Repo Chick was 3.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Yeah, it doesn't sound great. So, like, there shouldn't be a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's too establishment. It's really the death of rock. And that Eminem is in it, I guess. Why would he be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like, he's not rock and roll at all, especially now. I mean, you could argue early in his career when he was a little more crazy, he was a little rock and roll in the spirit of just being rebellious, but looking at him now, I mean, he's kind of very establishment in my view. You know. JC, the medical procedure causes cancer, they're saying. I'm just reading that, YouTube. Just reading that. I don't know anything about that. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving out medical advice, JEC, but who knows? I think we'll find out in the coming years. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people apologizing. A lot of people. And I think a lot of people should be, maybe investigated, if not tried. But I'm not in charge yet. I'm not in charge. But if I was in charge, one of the things I'd do is get rid of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and just be like, what are you doing? I mean, you can't even define what rock is when you're putting in Eminem and who is that next to him? Ed Sheeran? Is he even a rock guy? Is that what he plays? Rock? I mean, at least punk is punk rock. Eminem's not rock. He might have a couple songs that are kind of rock related, but he's not a rock and roll icon. Why is he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It's just pathetic how establishment awards and halls of fame have become. It's like the Mark Twain Awards. Ugh. Gross. I mean, Mark Twain would be making fun of that award show. If you brought him back to life, he'd be like, what? No, take my name off this thing. A bunch of posers giving themselves awards. No. The only one who kind of deserved it recently was Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is still out there. He's still, I don't agree with everything he says, but he seems like he's his own guy at least. He's got his own opinions. He's willing to risk. JEC, Ed is like a sad white boy with a guitar. Yeah, that's what I thought. He's not rock. Does he have any rocky songs? I don't think so. My daughter wants Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio to win Best Picture, so why can't her wish come true? Well, I heard the movie's terrible. Is that the one with Tom Hanks, right? Yeah, everybody hated that movie. From what I heard, I would go see it. Although Del Toro's a really good filmmaker, but I don't know, some of his projects, I kind of go, why are you making this? Like, it never got the strain. The strain was kind of straining me. I watched the first couple episodes and I'm like, can we just, can anybody not go, oh my God, a vampire? Like, it was like they were hiding it for like episode after episode until finally, like, oh my God, the vampires are everywhere. Yeah, you've been ignoring them. You've been ignoring them while they kill people and take them over. Like, it's pretty obvious from the moment a evil-looking coffin showed up that it was going to be a vampire. Can no one acknowledge the evil-looking coffin in the TV show? Like, say something about it. Like, oh, that's a pretty evil-looking box. Probably with a body in it. JEC, there's two live-action Pinocchio. Oh, there's another. Okay. So there was Tom Hanks and this one? That's too much Pinocchio. Sorry. We've reached the point of Pinocchio saturation. What are we doing? Is it now you're making the same movie? Is that what's gonna be in the future now? Well, the studios are all come out with their own version of Pinocchio. Let's see which one wins. Oh, I gotta go see 5 movies to see which one's the best one, I guess. I mean, why don't you just all make the same Superman movie? We could all decide, well, this is the good one, and all the rest suck. Okay. Why would he even make it now? Doesn't make any sense to me. And that's about it at Variety. Hollywood Reporter is covering important things like when Hollywood manes start to wane, the latest stemming and hiding of hair loss. I mean, that's important to actors, I guess. So I guess that should be a headline here, but seems like less important than, say, HBO canceling Westworld. I think they should have canceled Westworld after the first episode, quite frankly. JC, Disney probably heard this was one in the works, so they rushed to S out their own version, so Del Toro didn't eat their lunch. Yeah, I guess. It seems like all they did was waste a bunch of money, though. Is anybody Black Queen? Remember when the transracial is a thing? I meant Ollie London. Oh, you met Ollie London? Isn't he the guy who turned himself Korean, and now I think he's turning himself into a girl, right? Isn't that the deal? I remember Rachel Dolezal. I remember that name. Any of you guys watching or disappointed Westworld's been canceled? I couldn't believe that show got greenlit in the first place. The original movie's pretty classic. You watch the original movie and you don't come to the end of that movie and going, oh man, there's so much more story here. You come to the end of that movie and go, wow, that's cool. But it's over. Great movie, by the way. The last 40 minutes are no dialogue. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. I watched that when I was a kid, and I was like, when are they going to say something? It was riveting the first time I saw it. I was watching it on TV. They kept interrupting it with commercials, but still, I was like, they kept coming back from commercial, and I'd be like, they're still not talking. This is crazy. It was like the Terminator before the Terminator was a thing. When the hell did they make that movie? Let's check that out. I think that was in the 70s. Westworld. How is it? Westworld.
I'm Jewish.
Oh, no.
Shalom.
No.
Are you ready to do hard?
What the hey? No.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Hope I didn't just get flagged on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. That was a mistake. Jeez. Try it again. Westworld. There it is. 1973. Yeah. Back when they had almost no special effects. Worth a damn. JC, never watched Westworld. People liked the first season. Everyone hated everything after the first season. Yeah, I didn't even like the first season because it was just like, you know, they're just setting up mystery box after mystery box, and you're just like, why is there a mystery box here? Like, you build an amusement park, you don't sit around going, gee, I hope the roller coasters don't start eating people. I mean, I built them to do that, but I didn't want them to do that. Like, why would you build the androids to start, you know, revolting? You would build the androids in such a way that if they did anything untoward, they would just shut down and collapse or disintegrate or whatever. It's modern technology. Future technology, so they have even more safeguards. It's ridiculous. Black Queen. No, I never met him. Seeing his videos, they're all the weird as hell cultural appropriations. Yeah, Ali London is an odd duck. Yeah. So is Rachel Dolezal, if you've never seen her. I think she's still trying to live as a black person. And then there's Ariana Grande, which somebody on Twitter posted Ariana Grande from like early in her career when she's very fair-skinned, and then more recently where she looks black. And I'm not sure. I guess she's like half black. I don't know her background, but like, you can do a lot with makeup apparently because she looks very dark in the later picture. And I guess that's what's in vogue. Whatever's in vogue. You gotta understand, that's kind of Hollywood. You know, people, they're so desperate to make it. You know, actors, singers, they're just so desperate to make it. You know? And I've seen these guys, and I talk to them, and I've been that person. Not as desperate as them, you know, because I would reach my limit and go, no, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. But man, actors, singers, they'll do it. They'll do anything to make it. Some of them, and some of them are very talented and still have to do horrible things to make it. And it's a shame because we should honor talent. You know, we should recognize somebody who's super talented and say, "You're super talented. You should be making millions of dollars or, you know, some money as a singer or an actor or whatever. You should be elevated," but it just doesn't happen for whatever reason. There are just too many people in the business that suck. They're terrible. I definitely ran into this in comics. There's a famous comic writer. I won't mention his name this time, but you know, I got into a row with him back in the day before the internet, and you know, I've heard nasty rumors about how he acts behind the scenes, and I just don't think he's very talented, but he got work for years and years and years and years. Oh my God, here's an interesting headline. Disney lifts COVID vaccine mandate on most shows, including Grey's Anatomy and 911. Well, that's pretty big news, because that was ridiculous for the studios. they were really super hardcore about it. There's a perfect example how you have to compromise yourself just to continue working. So imagine you're on a TV show, you're making, Black Queen says Ariana Grande is Italian industry. Oh, okay. She's Italian. She looks very dark in the later pictures. But imagine you're working on a Disney show like Grey's Anatomy. It was a huge hit, 911 or whatever. You're making great bank. You're an actor. Everybody knows who you are. You're having a great life. Then the studio's like, well, if you don't take this medical procedure, we can recast you. It's just not fair. Not fair at all. That's a tough call, right? It's a tough call. I mean, imagine you're living the life in LA, right? And it's not cheap to live in LA, but it is kind of nice if you have lots of money. I mean, I saw glimpses of it when I was out there. I had friends who lived out there. It's very expensive, but if you're making good bank, you're going to the beach. You can go to the beach or you can go skiing whenever you want. You can just go up in the mountains, boom, there's skiing. You go down to the beach, you got beach. There's surfing, I don't think LA's a great town. There's not a lot of stuff to do but if you have money, pretty much life, the world is your oyster kind of thing. So you're talking about people who probably make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, at least. They're on their ways to being a millionaire, and then they're faced with this decision: do I have this medical procedure and continue to work, or do I say no? I don't want to be pressured to take this, and then, your career goes, and then you got to move out of LA, or you got to stay there and hope you could struggle your way through it. It's a terrible decision. OBG70, that happened to one of the actors on Wheel of Time. He didn't get the jab, so they replaced him for season 2. There you go. It sucks. I think now he may have a lawsuit on his hands, but that's, you sue somebody in the business, you're pretty much just stamping your forehead, never hire me. But if you could sue for enough, maybe, then you retire, leave Hollywood, I don't know, maybe go to the Daily Wire and do movies with Gina Carano if you can. Hopefully there's another Hollywood emerging. The Daily Wire seems to do well in that score. Breitbart did a movie. I mean, it was a pretty good movie. I liked the Hunter Biden movie. It was pretty good. So, but it was, it was very political. It has yet to be seen if Breitbart can do something outside of that. However, the Daily Wire's movies, they were solid movies just on their own. I didn't see the school shooter movie, but it looks very good. Looks well done. But I did see the Trapped in a Pantry movie. Forget what that was called. It was really good. Definitely a low budget, trapped in a house kind of, not really a horror movie, a thriller kind of thing. Here you go. SNL. Stop me before I rant about SNL again. Midterm cold open, The Watchers spoof. Chappelle set as next week's host. Ooh, well, you got an interesting host at least. That's almost worth watching, right? Now these days SNL, like I watched the Elon Musk one, and Elon Musk was probably the best thing on the show. Pete Davidson had one funny line, but the rest of the cast could do without him. So with Chappelle, I mean, it could be huge. The last time Chappelle was on, it was very good. We'll see. He'll at least try to do some edgy stuff. I wouldn't expect the rest of the cast to try anything other than, look, midterm cold open. How many times are you going to do a political sketch, SNL? Some of the shows back in the day, they almost never did political stuff sometimes. Or did very little of it. Or it was just in the Weekend Update because they do the news. They do so much stuff comedy-wise on SNL that are political now. It's just, ugh. It's like they're drowning in their own idiotic political takes. I gotta stop talking about SNL. Infuriates me. Facebook parent Meta plans large layoffs this week. Shocking. Arden still here, still driving. Good. Be careful. Watch the road. Yeah, it's a long time in coming, but maybe Facebook is finally going away, I guess. Maybe collapsing. Maybe going the way of MySpace. Wouldn't be surprised. Facebook. I really hate all social media to one degree or another, but Facebook in particular, I almost said. Facebook in particular, yeah, I really just can't stand it. I used to hate Twitter. Now I'm kind of warming up to it again. Slowly but surely, Twitter's getting slightly better every day. I'm starting to see people I haven't seen in a long time. Starting to see posts I hadn't seen in a while. Takes that I didn't normally see or be hidden. I'm starting to see trends that I never saw before. So, hashtags. OBG70, I'm getting some sort of lag. Anyone else? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are we lagging? Oh, let me check my stats here. I gotta start wrapping up anyway. Uh-oh. Oh no, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experiencing budgeting. Open widget. Okay. Stream status is poor. My stream status is poor, everybody. I guess I'm gonna start to wrap it up then. Duran Duran guitarist Andy Taylor has stage 4 cancer. Bummer. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh boy, might be done. I might be done, Joan. Ooh, this is no good. Stream health is bad. Oh boy. Well, I guess we're just stuck with it until the stream's over. Yeah, sorry you're getting a lag. I don't know how late you're lagging behind me, but this is a really good article in Bounding into Comics. It's a new report how they did a focus group with some new woke show, and then they created a fake show, and the fake show was very not woke. It would have been made like, I don't know, in the 80s. Check OBS and see if there are drop frames. Okay. Black Queen, see ya and peace out. Cool stream. Thanks, Black Queen. Checking OBS. Seems to be doing okay. I don't know. I think it's on YouTube's end. No, we're looking good. But anyhow, check out the Bounding in the Comics about this focus group. It's a very funny story and very indicative of what's going on. JC followed you on Twitter, Tony. Thank you. Yeah, I try to make funny talks. You probably don't want to see my replies all the time because I do a lot of promotion, but my regular tweets are sometimes fun. Oprah endorsed John Fetterman, and Oz says she and I have different politics. I don't think you do, Oz, but she endorsed him because that's who she endorses. And I think that was it. At the very bottom there. 2.2%. Okay. 2.2%. And the square is red. Yeah, it's on OBS side. Oh, I just updated this software too. What can I do, OBG70? Help me, OBG70. You're my only hope. What the hell's happening? Do I have to click something here? I don't know. Black Queen, follow me on YouTube and Twitter. Oh, give us your links. Is your name on Twitter the fierce, apathetic Black Queen? Let's see. Can I can't click on you from here. I'll have to check you out later. Yeah, the other thing was Screen Rant had this article. The MCU won't break its frustrating sequel obsession, which was, I thought, stupid. Now 3%, so I guess that's slightly better. I thought it was a dumb headline. And then this one, Disney Star Wars has improved the Jedi, now do the same for the Sith. Yeah, I don't think they've improved anything on Star Wars, quite frankly. But that was about it. That was about all I wanted to talk about anyway. I'm going to wrap it because we seem to be having some technical difficulties. I'm going to go, I'll check out the Black Queen, so check her out. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. I am a boomer when it comes to this sometimes. What's coming up? Black Queen says, I had a channel, or Clint Miller says, Fab Queen. Again, I'll be at the New Egypt flea market on Tuesday. Then I'll be at the Waterworks Public Library on Thursday. Check my links in the description for my book tour. And then I will try to get on the live stream with Bleach Demon on Tuesday as well, Tuesday night when I get back. OBG 70. Not a lot you can do, probably setting an OBS that was changed with an update. Yeah, I just updated it. All right, so that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll see you in the News Blast. I'm going to do a News Blast next. Good night.